Hello everybody, Raven Knight here. Now this is a video I never thought I'd be making. Is For Honor woke? Now some of you might be looking at me right now thinking that Raven has finally lost his mind, and I assure you I have not. I lost it a long time ago. It is currently missing. But see, it's not me that's presenting this question. You might be aware of this by now, and if you're not, well, be prepared to be cursed with knowledge. There is a spreadsheet floating around the internet right now called Woke Content Detector's Curated List of Games. This is a spreadsheet of various games and their levels of wokeness as defined by the Woke Content Detector Steam group. Essentially, they have a chart of every game available now on Steam, and they tell you what year it came out, the publisher and developers behind it, and then tell you whether they recommended the game or not based on its level of wokeness. They even do you the favor of laying out all the woke things or leftist ideologues you will find in the game that warranted their decision. Okay, now look, I'll be blunt. I'm not going to pretend like there aren't clear political agendas and narratives gradually and even forcefully trying to insert themselves into gaming. The Sweet Baby Inc. insanity, the failure that was conquered, the disastrous controversy of Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'd be foolish to argue there's no pandering from gaming companies. I've seen it, we've all seen it, and I think the majority of us agree it's annoying and harmful for the gaming community. But with that said, I think the other side of this issue is not entirely without fault. See, it's easy to forget that just because one extreme is prevalent right now, it doesn't mean the other extreme isn't just as irritating. Should we also readily forget the video games cause violence craze of the 90s and early 2000s? Shall we overlook the D&D as satanic fiasco? See, there are fools on both sides of this issue, and it's important to be aware of both. Now, the left side of the issue is being called out for their shameless pandering lately, which is true. This Woke Content Detector's curated list of games, though, looks to me like the right side of the fence rearing up to take advantage of not being at the forefront of controversy. So ordinarily, to be fair, I would just ignore this kind of crap. It's not a big deal to me, you know? It's just a list that exists and no one needs to talk about it, no one needs to acknowledge it. But my community has pointed out that For Honor was mentioned on this list, and they've sent me message after message after message, DM after DM after DM about For Honor being on this list, Space Marine 2 being on this list, Dead by Daylight being on this list, all these games being on this list. So I figure, what the heck? For Honor is what I primarily play, so let's see how For Honor's ranked. Let's take a look at this. Not recommended. Oof. So For Honor is considered woke. All right, I'm curious as to why. Let's have a look at their rationale. Contains overtly pro-DEI and pro-LGBTQ plus messaging. It does? First of all, how can it show LGBTQ anything? There are no romances or sexualities in the game. I mean, yes, there are gender-locked heroes, but For Honor has always done that. It's not an issue of DEI or LGBTQ, it's an issue of cost-effectiveness and upholding a pattern. See, ever since the release of the hero Warmonger, they've done a pattern every year of releasing two new heroes, one male and one female. Warmonger and Griffin, Kyoshin and Pirate, Medjay and Ephira, Ocelot and Varangian, and now we have Sohei, so the next hero will likely be female in keeping with the pattern. Now consider this for a minute. If it really was a lack of gender identity, why would it matter? They could just release whatever body type they want for each hero and just say, make it whatever you want. I mean, the gender is your decision anyway. They don't do that. In fact, I recall in the recent trailer for the upcoming year, they accidentally dropped the pronoun she when talking about the next hero after Sohei. They consider her female, so sorry. It's not forced inclusivity. It's keeping with a pattern. I don't see the DEI or LGBTQ there. Now, hold on. The other side of that, is it because some heroes like Varangian Guard were historically male and in the game they are female? Well, yeah, I can see how that would irritate some people, and I won't deny it was a little irritating to me, but the game isn't trying to argue the Varangians of history weren't all male, nor are they trying to change historical information. They're just keeping with their pattern that they've always done. I don't see this as DEI. This is just alternative history, and that's fine. I don't see the issue, but let's keep going. Uses body type 1 and 2 in character customization. Okay, that was dumb, and still is. And the community definitely laughed at Ubisoft for doing that. There was no reason for it. It didn't change anything, and more than anything, the community thought it was ridiculous. But with that said, like I said, it didn't change or hurt anything. No one was losing their mind over it, and we moved on. It didn't change the character layouts, nor did it change pronouns or anything like that, so it wasn't anything too frustrating for us. It still worked functionally the same way, and the characters didn't change fundamentally. It's just now they have different labels, and as silly as it is and as goofy as it is, I still laugh at it today. I would say, Nobushi's not a female hero. She's a type 1 hero. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. But, you know, it's just something to laugh at more than anything. It doesn't bother me that much. Features frontline female combatants fighting males in melee combat. Okay, what's wrong with that in this scenario? We're talking about a alternative history game where the entire world is caught up in endless war. No one gets the luxury of being stay at home. Women better be ready to fight too. And besides, we can even look at history. There were women warriors in history. Certainly not as many as there were male, granted, but they existed. You had the Onobugeisha of Japan, or Onimusha if you'd rather, shield maidens of Norse society, the Order of the Hatchet, an actual order of women who fought during the Reconquista, the Night Witches in the Russian army during World War II, just to name a few groups and terms for you. But we can actually throw in some actual names. Malunka Savik, the Lady of the Dark, Nakano Takako, Fu Hao, Chengshi, Zenobia, and there are a few others, but the issue is that you don't like that women are fighting against male opponents in physical combat, right? That's the issue? Well, I mean, that's why weapons exist. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. If you put a sword in the hand of either, suddenly both can become deadly. Now, yes, realistically, men were on the front lines far more regularly historically, and yes, in one-on-one matches, men will have the advantage more often than not. However, a couple things. What I'd like to ask is, why does this make the game something unrecommended? Why is it woke? The game is not pushing women power, and it's not claiming women are stronger than men. In fact, quite often in this game, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it matters how you play the characters and how you read the other side. In fact, I think the most powerful character right now in game is either Ocelot, Shinobi, or Aphira. One female gender locked, one male gender locked, and one that could be either. So it seems pretty balanced to me. And besides, there are far more male gender locked characters in the game than there are female gender locked characters in the game. So I don't think it's that big a deal. It isn't trying to create a false dichotomy. Believe me, I could make a whole list of historical inaccuracies in For Honor. But not once has the game ever tried to argue otherwise. The developers have said numerous times that they use history as an inspiration, but then they take liberties to have fun and get creative. I mean, sure, I might make videos pointing out historical inaccuracies or areas where something isn't realistic, but that's not a negative endorsement or serious criticism of the game and its choices. I ask again, what's wrong with female warriors being in the game? See, that's what I don't get. I don't understand why that's an issue, and I don't know, but here's the beautiful part. Y'all ready for this? I'm about to blow y'all's minds. What I truly find funny about this criticism is it doesn't matter to them either. It does not matter to the creators of this chart. Want to know how I know it? I'll prove it. Watch this. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is on this list as informational, which means it has a little bit of wokeness in it, but not enough to say that it's too bad you can't do it. It's just one that you need to be aware it's there. In the explanation for why it's informational, you say it has homosexual marriage options, and one woman asks if a strong-normed woman offends you. That's it. That's all it says. Notice something missing there? What's missing? Why doesn't it mention all the female combatants on the front lines who engage men in one-on-one combat? Because there are tons. There are many women who will fight on the front lines in this game. Soldiers, legates, wizards, thieves, assassins. Women make up a predominant part of the fighting force in Elder Scrolls. Hell, you can play as a woman, and they don't call it male or female in the customization menu. You didn't bring that up either. So for Honor, it's bad to have females regularly fight on the front lines and to have body types 1 and 2, but Skyrim gets a pass? And then you also have Helldivers 2 on this list as informational. You call it informational as well. Why? It contains pro-LGBT messaging? Where? Contains subtle pro-DEI messaging? Again, where? No clear distinction between male and female aside from voice options, but at least you can change that. And my favorite, this is my favorite. This is the part that made me laugh. The intro features a mixed race family. So, mixed race families are a problem. You actually think a mixed race couple is a problem. So a white man is, for some reason, not allowed to date or marry a black woman. I think you might have more problems than wokeness in gaming. I'm just letting you know, I think you might have more problems than that. And you know what? Since I recently talked about Space Marine 2, let's see that one. That's on this list. Not recommended. Oh, really? Why? For pro-DEI messaging, because the Ultramarines in-game are improbably diverse. Oh! Say you don't know anything about Warhammer 40k without saying you know nothing about Warhammer 40k. You are aware, I hope, that Ultramar, the area of the galaxy where the Ultramarines recruit from, has over 500 worlds on it. There's going to be some diversity, obviously. And, you say, it features frontline female combatants and improbable female authority figures. Again, what? The Cadians. The Cadians have female soldiers and leaders. But I must ask, why did you not bring this up for Skyrim? Again, there are female Jarls, and a woman is set to be the new High Queen of Skyrim. Are you going to call that out? Aren't you going to say that Skyrim is not recommended because it has improbable female authority figures? Come on, where is that? Where's that? Why didn't you mention that for Honor too? Ayu is a daimyo. She's a daimyo. Why aren't you pointing that out? I could go on, but you get my point by now, I hope. Okay, in conclusion, let me wrap this up. I think this whole list is ridiculous. I think it's hilarious, inconsistent, and built around bias. I think the ones who made the list throw accusations at games with even mild hints of inclusivity and diversity without thinking them through properly. But they will show favoritism to certain games that they like, Skyrim being an example. For Honor being on this list is laughable. Helldivers 2 and Space Marine 2 being on this list is even funnier to me. Now, there are some games out there where the pandering has overshadowed the gameplay. And that, I think, is a problem. However, some games I can enjoy despite that. For example, Dead by Daylight is openly and heavily encouraging and supporting of LGBTQ politics and identities. And their narrative for a lot of their characters have supported this, and I have pointed out my issues with that in the writing. I find it a bit annoying, but I don't let it bother me. I still play the game and enjoy it. The game doesn't force me to accept or support anything. It only asks me to engage with the gameplay. So seeing Dead by Daylight on this list didn't surprise me, but at the same time, I don't think it's enough to warrant a not recommended, more of just a for your information thing. I think the better way to do this list to make it a lot more, acceptable would be to change the terminology. Instead of saying recommended, informational, and not recommended, say free of woke, just a little bit, be aware, like that kind of thing. Like, make it so that it's a little less demanding. Like, by saying it's not recommended for having this, well, what if there's a player of the game who really likes it, and now you're saying not recommended because of this? You're only isolating that person who plays the game, you know that. Anyway, whatever. For your information, since we're going that route, this list is silly. For Honor is not woke. Enjoy the games you want to enjoy. Play what you like. As I've said many times, even in videos where I criticize a game or, mock a game or call out the problems with a game, even if I don't like a game, movie, TV show, whatever, if you enjoy it, I will never tell you what you cannot or should not enjoy. I may ask you why you enjoy it. I may ask you to defend your case, but I will never ever tell you not to enjoy something. Your entertainment and your enjoyment should always come first in picking what you play or watch. If a game is woke and you like it, enjoy it and more power to you. If a game is free of wokeness but it still bothers you, don't play it. It's as simple as that. It comes down to this old truth. You speak with your mouth and your money. If a game is out there and you just don't like it for whatever reason, don't get it. Don't get it. And the game will live or die based on how many people don't get it. That's what happened with Conquered. That's what looks like it's going to happen with several other games that have been released lately. But that's what also happened with Space Marine 2 and Black Myth Wukong, two games that have blown up on Steam, have gotten millions of purchasers within the first day of being out. People spoke with their mouth and their money. So regardless of Space Marine 2 being on this list saying not recommended, the people spoke louder than this list did. So that's what I have to say about that. No matter what stance you take on the political spectrum, no matter what you consider woke, not woke, or what have you, play what you want to play, watch what you want to watch, and enjoy what you want to enjoy. Don't shove your ideals and ideologies down my throat. Don't force me to accept or support whatever it is you want me to accept or support. Just say, I play this game, I enjoy it regardless of blank. And I will say, good. Enjoy it. I may not, or I may. And that's my stance to take. No list is going to tell me what I should or should not play. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know that this is a weird video for me to make, but it got people were asking me to make this video, so I decided let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. So anyway, guys, that's all the time I have. I will see you in my next video. Take care.